watching as the world's unmade and call it all our golden age. Ooh, oh, oh, we are beyond control. Ooh, oh, oh. No vision can deliver us. We're golden calves until we're dust. Ooh, oh, oh, we're born upon a throne. Ooh, oh, oh, don't you know? Ain't nobody safe from us. All you ghosts are better off where you come from. And I set out to tame the land with lion teeth and jaws of lambs. Ooh, oh, oh, I'm drunk on the control. Ooh, oh, 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 until the fiction wastes away, until there's nothing left uncaged. Ooh, oh, oh, and I am on my own. Ooh, oh, oh, don't you know? Ain't nobody safe from us. All you ghosts are better off where you come from.
Hey, look at that. First
Mike.
live show, episode 0. Am I muted? Am I muted?
No,
You can hear
you're
me.
good. You're good.
Okay. This is cool.
That was amazingly slick.
That was our
awesome.
intro.
That was wicked.
All right. Test number 1 completed. We got
Excellent.
through our intro. So this is the show. This is how we're gonna get set up, man. What do
Oh
you think?
man, it's pro. It looked, that was so slick. The way that was great.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're gonna do a lot more than this. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
But it just
So
yeah.
what do we got here? So we got our favorite Krista Freeland. I don't
Yes.
really know too much about her other than the wacky stuff I've seen of her. Am I
Yeah.
wrong to assume that everything that I've seen of her is pretty much her?
Yes. Yes. And
Okay.
she's definitely got ties to the World Economic Forum. I think you could still go into their website, their who's who, and she's still on there as a board of director.
What is she?
She
Like,
was at one point.
well, she's like the finance minister, right? Or was
Yes.
the finance minister?
Yes,
Okay.
she was. Her first portfolio, like she sort of progressed in the cabinet, right? I think she was initially, don't quote me on this, but I think she was housing, and then she was international trade, and then she was involved with the 2019 NAFTA negotiations with Trump down south that went so badly. Like, I think Professor Ian Lee at Carleton, he was saying this will be a case study in how not to negotiate an international trade agreement because it just went so off the rails. And then
like, what do you mean? Like, did they off the rails as in they just basically got nothing out of it, or
well,
what happened? Or?
I think it was a lot of it was Trudeau's regime and Freeland moralizing, a lot of moralizing about climate change and stuff, like peripheral sort of leftist stuff, instead of getting down to brass tacks and actually talking about the core issues. And there's a lot of protectionism on our part going on with the
Right.
Dairy farmers and stuff like that. And Trump, at the time, came out and said, we do not like their negotiator very much. And I think even Freeland was distributing like totally unrelated stuff about human progress, like giving American negotiators books about progressive ideas. And it's like, no. You're supposed to be negotiating North American free trade, woman. And
yeah, okay. So she basically wasn't doing the job.
Yeah,
She's basically Miss Activist or something.
exactly. And like at one point she was, she's self-deluded and she was wearing like a t-shirt that said, like I'm a mother and I'm negotiating free trade. It's like, get the hell out of here.
Well,
And
what qualified her for this job in the first place? Just truly
uh
liked her? That's
she
it?
was, yeah, like I think there was definitely the fact that she is a woman and she had been an editor of um was it the Financial Times or something? Instead of speculating it, would like when we go to a live show, I'll have to have some
Oh,
facts
yeah.
there so that
Well,
everybody knows.
this is good. It was just we were getting into the banter. This
Yeah,
is what we're going to do every week,
yeah, yeah.
or
No,
we're going
but
to
you're
try to
right.
do
Like,
every week.
she was a really poor editor of a financial I'm not sure if it wasn't the Wall Street Journal, but it was another American publication. But she doesn't have that background. Her academic background is, I think it's like Russian studies or Ukrainian studies.
So she's not okay, let me guess. She's never ran her own business,
No,
right? She's never financed or planned the finance of a company.
no, she had
Okay,
no.
like real jobs,
Yeah, like
I believe real people do these jobs, right?
exactly. Yeah, most of the time, you should have experience in the core competency of the ministry that you're ahead of, right?
Have
But
we have just going on history? I don't think anybody really knows too much about what goes on in Canada, anyways, right?
that's
But
true.
but have we ever had like a legit finance minister? Like when was the last one we've had?
Um, I can't remember under the Harper years. You know what? I can't really remember the finance minister per se because I always had Harper as a really savvy economics business guy. Like that was his background, his academic background was in economics, and he was
Yeah,
competent that way. But I really couldn't tell you. I mean, which like because there's so much movement, right? During
yeah.
yeah, like a prime ministerial tenure, there's like the ministers move around. I mean, maybe John Baird was the minister at one point for finance because he was in immigration, but people get moved around. We'd have to
Well, it's
check.
just that like that video you sent me last night. I watched it all and stuff, and
Yeah.
we're screwed.
I, yeah. Oh my gosh. I know, right? It
It's
was
like,
so it was so
well, it's just,
pessimistic.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
like he's extrapolating. He's like heavily extrapolating.
Yeah.
But I mean, like in the end, what I got out of it is that, well, it seems like we're not producing stuff that people will want to keep buying. Is
Mm.
what I get. And so we're
Yeah.
like this big land of nothing, and we have all like, what kind of businesses do we have here, right? Most of the businesses I know we have here is like, well, we sell stuff to each other in stores, and we run companies. And I know there are
Mhm.
companies that do like remote tech, especially in Montreal.
Mhm.
And I know out west we once shipped out crappy oil full of sand. And there's a lot of fish, but there's all kinds of moratoriums happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that,
You know,
and I think the extractive industries that you talked about, like mining, oil and gas, farming, and the Trudeau regime has been completely hostile to that area of our economy, right? That's why the Albertans are so angry, because like when things are when things are moving, like Canada is a really large net exporter of oil and gas, especially to the United States.
right?
And by rights, we should be rich here, but we've been so curtailed by this like faux environmentalism that,
Well,
and
it's
pipelines and stuff like that. Like it's
well,
hard
what I was
for,
saying that Newfoundland is richer than Quebec.
yeah,
That's crazy. And then I thought about it. It's like, well, we don't really do shit here. I mean, we used to export electricity, but then yeah, I don't even know what the deal with that is, anyways,
Yeah,
anymore.
like I think
You know,
we
we
I
don't
think
really talk about Hydro Quebec, really.
yeah,
It's
and I
like,
think I always think that Hydro-Quebec is a good example of, like I think there's tons of power that goes from Hydro-Quebec into the like New York State and
yeah,
and into the States. But we should be far more advanced than we are, and I think that's deliberate policy. Like a nice quote that I like to bring out is Canada is rich by nature but poor by policy. And I think that's very true because we
yeah.
have all the resources, but we don't
We
use
don't
them.
seem to do very much. But and you know, and then it's I find the government uses like the environmental stuff a lot to
Yeah.
kind of like get people off of using our resources and stuff.
Yeah. It's like
And it's like, yeah, I get it, but I mean, like, what are we gonna live on?
I
You
know
know?
we're a harsh northern climate. We're gonna freeze in the dark if we don't use oil and gas. It's like, geez, come on.
And we can do it a lot better and smarter. I mean, this was the land that invented the CANDU reactor, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that's a good point because and that's another thing about nuclear power is that is nuclear power you know, does nuclear power produce any carbon? Not
No,
that I know of. Is it
no,
relatively
no,
safe?
not at all.
Yes.
Yeah, most of this. I mean, it's not only safe; it's actually, I believe, it's actually the safest power plant in the world.
Yeah.
It's got that design where if like something goes wrong, right? I think the deal is that there's like these like rods, right? And then if
Yeah,
like there's a leak, the rods like sink to the bottom, and then it just shuts everything down.
yeah, the control rods. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what makes the reactor kind of safe and all that. That's why. Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, we're not selling a lot of these. You know,
Yeah,
even though you've got like the safest reactor right here. I mean, you're not going to get a Chernobyl happening with the Candu reactor,
exactly.
essentially.
And
You
and
know,
if we do any searching at all, it'll probably take us just a little bit of time to find out that the expansion of CANDU reactors, even domestically, has probably been curbed by some sort of
well,
Trudeau government
nuclear
policy.
nuclear bad, of course. You know,
Yeah, nuclear bad. And hydro, yeah, like the funny thing is, um, just as a sort of a test case for green energy in Ontario, like wind power has been an abject failure in our province. I know that for a fact. Like it just doesn't contribute anything to the
oh,
grid. Like it does contribute like a minuscule, like an infinitesimal amount of energy, and there's all these issues. Like when Dad worked at Nature Canada, like they had this whole thing about how like these giant wind turbines disrupt migratory paths of birds
oh
and they
yeah,
kill birds and oh
like, yeah. It's like, yeah, it's basically a slicer dicer like
exactly.
with blades that are like
Yeah,
truck lengths long kind of thing.
exactly.
And it's like, and
And
it's
they're
crazy
yeah,
because like I saw this YouTube the other day, and it was this whole thing. It's like, well, why do the blades of the thing look like they don't turn very fast and all that, right? And it's like,
mm,
well, yeah, because like if they turned really fast, those things would just basically shred themselves to death.
yeah.
They would just like explode, and there'd be like flying like you know flying wings in the air, ready to slice things in half and stuff.
It's like
Uh,
why didn't you use wind power? Well, because the turbines killed everyone we know and everything we cared about. That's why. I saw this
well,
doc. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
yeah, no, it's just the whole wind thing is just like, you couldn't. It's just that when you're converting anything mechanical to electricity, like even like hydro dams and stuff like that. You know, like the efficiency of those things are like 60-70%.
Mhm.
You know, like here your potential, and you're only getting like so much. Like 60% is good.
Yeah.
You know, because everything is lost, and like everything mechanical, right? Stuff breaking
Mhm.
down, bearings getting all messed up, and they have to constantly change those things, and they're not cheap either. And
Yeah. And
you know,
I think there was like a lot of conversion problems in
mm,
the wind turbines were producing this type of power, but they had to convert all of it. And then the other thing I saw was that earthworms do not like the constant vibration from these massive turbines, so they start to
no,
flee the area.
yeah,
And I remember seeing a
stuff doesn't
documentary
get.
about, yeah, like the farmers who had like wind turbines on their property, on their land. They were having trouble, you know, keeping the soil quality up because the earthworms were just fleeing the vibrations, like, and so that
That's
was,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
I
I
didn't. I
saw that a
never
few
even
years
thought of
ago.
that.
Yeah, like
Wow.
these unforeseen, and also people. It's not good for people to be living like right next to like a constantly whirring thing with all the vibration and stuff. But
Well, let alone those things eventually shatter.
oh god, yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Like
I don't want to be underneath that thing,
I,
anywhere near that thing. I mean, like on top of that, I don't even know what they're rotating at. It wasn't very fast, but
yeah,
those blades are huge.
yeah.
You know, you can't predict where those blades are going to go. And
It's like,
that's if they're rotating at the normal speed. Imagine they go out of control and they're like, you know, just spinning out of control and stuff. You know?
yeah, it's like you just got crushed by a blade the size of like the Empire State Building.
Yeah, no, it's just it's crazy.
I know. But yeah, like I think by rights, Canada should be, we should be wealthy, like um based on our like resources alone, and we're not.
Yeah.
And like in that video, the guy was talking about the ridiculous housing market, um, especially in cities like Vancouver, Toronto, and probably even
But what's
Montreal. Like
But what's the deal with that? It's just that there's not a lot of space to build,
I,
or
I think so. Like I think a part of it is our immigration intakes have been so out of control,
like,
especially over the last 5 years. You know, like over and above what our intake should be. So the demand is like super high to the
yeah,
point where it's almost impossible for like a young person or like a young couple to go out and buy their first home, right? Like because the prices in Vancouver, it was like it's like a million plus in
yeah,
Toronto, a million plus in to just the average like housing price. And
right.
I'm not really in tune with real estate or anything, but that's a problem. I know that that's a
Well,
problem.
I don't know if they are, but does does any of the governments subsidize like foreigners buying housing, or do they just give them housing like they do in the States? Like, I don't know if we do any of that stuff.
I
You know,
think I think
I don't.
there's a degree of that. Like I think gosh, there's probably these different layers of, you know, entitlements as far as, you know, if you're a refugee and you come in, there's probably like this litany of things that you get. Like you get housing, you get your daily stipend, you get your free healthcare, you get this and that.
Yeah,
And I know, you know, like I and I know that it overwhelms the public housing system to the point where, you know, you have, you know,
well,
20 foreign
are they
students.
getting are they getting preference? Here's the other thing too. Like, I don't
Well,
even know if we do any of that. I You never know. Like, I know it's a thing, you know, that some governments
yeah.
give preferences to certain people,
And I
like
think
certain
the
people who
answer
just
is
got
yes.
here.
Yeah, I think the answer is yes. And it's unfair, right? Like,
It is because
uh,
what do you do about the people who already live here? You
exactly.
know, and then the other thing I heard the other day, especially in light of the Elon Musk stuff, and
Yeah.
about I forgot what the the visa is called, but
Yeah, it's the H1B.
basically, yeah,
H1B visa.
H1B. Yeah, it sounds like a virus or something.
I
But,
know.
you know, um,
It's true. It does. It sounds like H1N1.
it does what? But
Oh.
anyways, that's messy because
Yeah.
I know working well in the industry I work in, I see it a lot, and
Yeah.
what can I say about it? Well, I know a few years ago when I was working like in around 2013, I knew this was a thing for things like QA teams. You know,
Okay.
they would hire like these gangs of QA, or they'd be remote, right? In our case, there was like a remote team in Pune, India, and they would send one of the basically the highest dude on the pecking order over here to live here with his family and basically be the coordinator, like the
Okay.
remote coordinator. So basically, he'd be here working with us, figuring out what testing would have to be done, and basically being part of the team. And then he would have access to this team in Pune,
Mhm.
who would just basically be like his minions and stuff to do like the heavy lifting and all that.
Yeah.
And they were replacing a lot of people who could be doing the job here.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, on the same token, I know there was at one point, to be honest, there was a need because there wasn't enough people from here going into that type, or didn't even know that type of work existed. Who
Yeah.
gets into QA these days, right?
Is that like is that I don't is that question and answer type stuff, or is
No,
that
no.
quality control?
Quality
or-
assurance.
Oh,
Quality
quality
assurance.
assurance.
Sorry
Okay.
about that. Yeah,
So-
yeah.
No.
So-
That's me. That's my ignorance.
No, that's fine. QA, quality assurance for basically testing programs. So
Okay,
everything from
gotcha.
video games to software. You need people to constantly click those buttons, make sure those buttons work and stuff. So they
Right.
had these teams that would do the manual clicking at one point, and then of course they would develop their own tools, and then eventually there'd be some kind of software they could program to do the repeated clicking, so they don't get insane people shooting each other because they clicked the button like for the 1000th time.
Yeah.
But this was a thing. I mean, and so we go from 2013, and we're at 2024 now. And now the one thing I've noticed, especially as I'm doing interviews now, is that human resources have been like totally replaced by the same people. Like literally, it's a new thing,
Wow.
and like I don't not try not to be racist here, but like it's like going through the learning curve again because like I'm a specific type of software developer, right? Even though I show that I might know certain things, right? I might know certain languages and all that, right? They'll still call me, even though I say like I'm not this type of developer. So it's like going through the whole learning thing again with these new teams that have transitioned over from, I'm gonna guess, like whatever they were doing in tech like in 2013, and they're going through the same learning curve again where they're just trying to figure out the industry, but they're taking over. But like I think I've only been approached, maybe 30% have been headhunting agencies here,
Okay.
like on this side of the world, and everyone else have been on the other side of the world.
Like in India primarily, mostly?
Yeah, in India, I don't think there would be anywhere else. Well, maybe I might have gotten a few, one or two from Middle East, maybe, or maybe somewhere in Europe.
Okay.
Or somewhere, not Western Europe kind of deal, But yeah, none from China, from what I remembered, and maybe the occasional one who's working remotely in Australia and or United States, But they're on the bottom end of who I'm getting on these calls these days. Like I'm getting mostly India, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. So that they moved into the HR game, and the thing that's is a bit controversial, I should say, is that I think from the groups from East India they're playing the game. They've become quite nepotistic in that.
Well, yeah, I mean they speak the same language most of the
Yeah.
time. They know the same areas. I mean, it's only natural that you would do this,
Yeah.
you know. And it's
So-
hard. I mean, imagine you're like a white dude, just got out of high school, knows minimal programming, probably expects to get a very high paying. I mean, there's also stuff on the other side of the coin too. Don't get me wrong,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
they're discouraged from pursuing anything in tech. That I know.
Because they'll just get pushed out or not even considered.
Well, they hear it. They're not
Yeah.
stupid,
Yeah.
But the thing is, what I do notice is that a lot of them are going more and more to like stuff like where the money is now, like electrician, not electrical engineering, electrician,
Yeah. So the trades.
plumbing,
Yeah.
the real trades where you're actually using real power tools and stuff. So
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of white folk going there,
Yes.
and going into those fields, and they're doing really well,
Yeah.
But the thing is that, the whole thing with Elon Musk is like, well, I have to go pull these 1%ers, well, more likely 10%ers and above over to here because there's nobody here being trained to take these on. And then when they do, they're too expensive, they complain too much, they're lazy, all sorts of things. And I don't blame them for feeling that way
Yeah.
as well, because we don't train them right. We don't train them to expect hard work. And, the only thing people ever get incentivized to do as careers nowadays, like especially Gen Z plus, is being YouTubers like me right now, or us.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I
like,
know. No.
it's like it's crazy. It was like I have all these skills and here I am doing videos and stuff,
Yeah.
That's
It's
and
it's so
I
strange.
can speak the language. I was born here just like you, and it's sort of like
Yeah.
no, we're stuck doing YouTube. So
Yeah. I know it's such a
what do you want?
a strange
know?
situation. Yeah, like I it was kind of crazy because like I tuned out over Christmas and then I just kicked about on the internet. I was like, what is this? This internal fight of MAGA, H-1B visas, and Elon Musk
Yeah.
versus the
crazy.
Groypers and all this stuff. And I was like, what is happening?
But
Uh,
I mean, like on the whole, I disagree with them.
mhm.
And I know, but on the same token, it's like he's kind of right because, like, if we look at our pool right now, we're screwed.
Yeah.
How do you incentivize like the population again to say, we're not going to do the thing we just did and get you replaced with a bunch of people from the third world because they'll be willing to do everything, even lick the toilet
Yeah.
to work and get money and stuff.
I know.
And it's
And
like,
it's
how do you solve it?
it's sort of like that classic argument where it's like, well, if you import like a massive amount of labor that that is willing to work for less in worse conditions, it's going to depress wages and working conditions, and it's going to be a no-brainer for corporations to hire them because it brings their overhead down and I
They want to keep making money or
yeah.
bringing value to the investor.
And you
You
can
know, like-
see from a nationalistic standpoint, like from a America First standpoint, for instance, like that's the opposite of what they want to be doing.
Yeah.
And so it's like this clash of nationalism versus pure economics. So I don't know what the answer is, and we're experiencing that here in Canada too with you know workers being incentivized, like corporations being incentivized to bring in cheap, like low skill labor that are taking jobs that would have otherwise have been taken up by young people.
Yeah, but it's not low skilled labor anymore. That's the problem.
Well, I think even in Canada, like you have instances where like retail jobs or there's this huge competition for like a retail job at like a box store.
Right. But
and
you gotta also remember they're facing another crisis too because nobody goes shopping anymore.
yeah, that's true.
Who goes to a box store, man?
I
Why
don't
would I
know.
go to a box store when I could go to Amazon and get anything I want?
I know.
You know?
I've heard of these mysterious box stores. They're kind of over there somewhere in the distance, but I haven't been to them.
I've been
Oh
to
my
more
God.
convenience stores and box stores in the past decade.
Yeah, I know. I know. I mean, I have
You
to
know?
admit, like I'm a big Amazon consumer, and I have been for like ever since when I moved out, I had my own apartment. That was the first thing I did. I was like, oh, I'll get my Amazon account.
Yeah.
And I can just
Why?
order stuff.
Well, you get access to stuff, and usually for a good price too. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't beat what they. I mean, local is a joke. I mean, the only reason why I would go shopping these days is if I really wanted to try like if it's a piece of clothing.
Hmm.
But even then, now, I mean, I know my size, and most of the time when I guess my size, and then I have to adjust with like like the Asian graph compared to like North American and the sizing stuff. Once you
Yeah.
get all past that, and you know which one they're following, you'll get maybe one or two that are out of size or oversized, and
Yeah.
then you know which one you're going to buy. And especially when you get to our age. I mean, you don't change in size too much.
That's right. Like when I go shopping on Amazon for clothes, it's like based on your past history, you would probably fit well in this extra large t-shirt.
You can
I'm
ask
like,
ChatGPT,
I know.
and I'm sure ChatGPT will give you a hand size. Well, heck, there's probably going to be an AI that can take pictures of you and just go shopping for you. And
Yeah.
then you'd have to there's an idea for an app. Maybe we should build that.
Boom.
You're rich,
Yeah.
It'll beat Amazon. It's like they basically takes pictures of you and then gives you recommendations and stuff using
The-
AI or something.
this- The CN Taylor. The common nonsense Taylor. And then you can have a picture of the CN Tower in the back. I don't know. The marketing does itself, Mike. Mm.
You talking about her name?
Yeah, the common nonsense Taylor, and it's the AI
Yeah.
that'll get your suit ready and everything.
Oh, so we're gonna eventually have like an arsenal of memes that I'm gonna have to fire off now and then and stuff. So I was of course digging up for the Polyev Apple one.
Oh,
Right.
that's awesome.
But the thing is, I was watching. Hang on, we're gonna.
I love that clip. That's the best ever.
Yeah. But the one I found, like, it's like the full interview, and if you listen to the full,
It's like, show me the page. What page are you talking about? Show me the
which
page.
one?
And he's like
Which
eating
one?
the apple.
Like, which
Show
one?
me the, show
And
me
of course, everyone's memed it up already. There's all kinds of versions of it. Wait, I
You know
have
what'd
to
be
actually
good?
say Apple.
Do you know what would be good if we could somehow do like Pierre Polivarez Pepe or Apu the frog eating an apple
Possible.
and an
I hear
NPC
this.
and an NPC. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, this one. We have to.
Sort of
Yeah, this
strategy. Currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean?
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean,
What do you mean by that?
certainly
Give me an example.
you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Left wing, this and that, right?
I don't believe in that.
I mean, it's
No.
that type
I
of
almost never
ideological
talk
thing.
about. I never really talk about left.
He's
or right.
good.
Anyways, a lot of
He doesn't
believe
get-
in that.
Okay. A lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump
Show me the page.
book.
Like which people would say that?
Yeah, I know.
Well, I'm sure.
Why are journalists so
many
crap
Canadians,
these days?
Like who?
Yeah.
I don't know who, but
Well, you're the one
Um,
who asked the question, so
yeah.
you must know somebody.
Oh yeah, this
Okay.
is where I picked up
I'm
on
sure
stuff.
there's
He
some
starts
out there,
talking
but
about
anyways, the point of
common
this-
sense
point of
here,
this
which is
question
kind of
is,
cool.
I
Yeah.
mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page of Donald Trump.
Show me the page.
What are you
Also-
talking about? What page? What page? Can you give me
Okay.
a page? Give me the page. can
That's
say-
In
gold.
terms of turning things quite dramatically in terms of Trudeau and
The guy
and
knows
left
how
wing and
to-
all of this. I mean,
how to
you
troll
make
people.
quite a,
And you
need
not.
it's
Especially in
quite a
this
play that you
country.
make on it.
Yes.
So I'm
Like
I'm not
just
sure.
wondering.
I don't know what your question
Okay.
is.
Then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Common sense.
Okay.
There we go.
Common sense
I should, like,
for-
meme
for
that.
a change.
yeah, I know it's so
For
close
this
to,
show.
for the show.
I know.
We don't
The
have
common
any common
nonsense.
sense in the current
Yeah.
government. the guy prints $600 billion, grows our money supply by 32% in
Wow.
3 years. That's
That's
growing
true, eh?
money 8 times faster than the economy. No wonder we have the worst inflation in 4 decades. I'm going to cap spending, cut waste, so that we can balance the budget and bring down inflation and interest rates. You'll want to be able to pay your mortgage again. You want to be able to afford
That'd be
rent.
nice.
Then you have to vote for Pierre Poilievre, because I am the only one with a common sense plan that will bring back the buying power of your paycheck.
That's
Yeah.
perfect. Absolutely perfect. And
Well, I got that downloaded, and I'll try to cut it up into memes and stuff. But
brilliant. Yeah.
um,
Because there's a lot to unpack there, right? Like
oh yeah.
the like you said, the journal, like the integrity of journalism is one issue. The mainstream press bias in Canada, and then inflation, government policy, inflation as it relates to the cost of living, making people have to work twice as hard at least to make ends meet, and the fact that Pierre Poilievre was the best we've ever seen him there, as far as being absolutely unflappable, like perfect, calm as a
Yeah, no.
cucumber, trolling him. I love it, and that's how you have
No,
to deal with the press. And it's sad to
Yeah.
say, but that's how you have to deal with the press.
I guess I just never realized how awful they are.
I know, it's
beforehand. You
and
know?
that's one of those issues that's been plaguing us. Like circa 2015, 2016, Trump looking out at his rally and saying, "You see the media over there? They're enemies of the people. The lying press, fake news." And
Yeah, but
he's
have they
right.
always been? The
Well,
thing is, have they always been? And that's weird because like I grew up watching stuff like Walter Cronkite. Like he
Yeah.
used to do his thing. Like he was CBS, right? He was mostly CBS, I believe.
like the
And he would have
grandfather.
yeah, and then he would be like I used to remember him on like they had this like what they used to call him, like documentary, but uh, pieces. Like I forgot. There's a certain term for him, and he would be on the Sunday morning. I think that's actually what they called it, Sunday
Right.
morning on CBS and stuff. And he would just do like some story, some interest story. That's it. And all
Yeah,
that,
like human interest stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the whole Sunday one was just dedicated to that. Then I would see him on like the real news channels, like maybe years beforehand, and I used to remember like, yeah, why would I not believe him?
Yeah.
Like, but the thing is, apparently they've been lying to us all along. So
Yeah, but
like, how far back does it go?
exactly, and I think though that there has been like a real marked change, maybe in the last 2 decades, maybe longer, but where it's like we're not even going to try to be objective. We're going to present news as opinion, and opinion as news. And there's probably some metrics we can find about online bias. Like I remember even recently, for instance, Elon Musk, he had this bar graph, and it was like every academic discipline from engineering and computer science down to the arts, and where the ideological bias was in bar graph form. Like, and most of the majority of people were on the left.
Yeah. The most of academia is left. Even engineering now is left.
Yeah, and that's crazy because.
And then, sorry to say, it
Yeah.
came with the whole like push to balance the feminine content of who's going through the doors, graduating and stuff.
Yeah, it's like the
and
the leftist
Like,
march
yeah.
through the institutions is
yeah, and
complete.
I got really nothing against it. I don't. It's just there's a whole bunch of men who should be doing stuff, and they're not, encouraged to do stuff, and they're very capable. And they've been stripped of a lot of things in society. And I know it's like an effort to balance things out, but what I find I don't understand is doesn't leave them much to live for.
No.
The way we've set things up, you know. I mean, what do they find pride in these days? The things that they're naturally given. I mean, they're looked down if they have some kind of physical labor, like, you know, they move stuff. They're not really looked, you know, very high in our society. The only way they're looked high upon is, you know, all the anti-masculine stuff. Like, basically, if you're really good at lying,
Yeah.
one, you know, you're very good at, you know, looking good, you know, cleaning up and stuff, and whether you can, you know, convince people with your speech, whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
You know, there's no even there's no men are being heralded for their skills at all. And
Yeah.
it's to the extreme where, you know, even for doing a good job, you know, like I remember working at a company not too long ago, like literally last year, and I remembered a lot of men who worked really hard. And every time we came into the meeting, the thing that they would really harp and press upon would be the fact that the company was doing this thing to herald women specifically.
Mm,
No, it didn't seem like there was a lot of um, recognition for the men who worked there really hard.
right.
You know?
Yeah, and I think that's why you see suicide rates amongst, white males in particular have gone through the roof. Because if and that sort of like that epidemic of despair is very much linked to what you just talked about, the
Yeah,
lack of purpose or the lack of appreciation, that every time you turn around you're being vilified and constantly in the press and the media and commercials in the workplace. You don't have a purpose and you're not appreciated, and people get either angry or they despair, and that's not a good combination of
no, no, and on top
yeah.
of that, I mean, like, I was telling my nieces the other day, like, the one difference between men and women, uh, you know, and I know it's a very basic way to look at it, but I always felt this growing up as a man or as a male, that you start off with no value, and
Yeah.
women start off with +1. You
Yeah,
know,
inherent
and
value.
for the fact that ultimately, if you want to procreate, you ultimately need a female.
Yeah.
You know, they're the ones who carry the baby to term, and the just naturally that's the way it is. And so,
Yeah.
growing up, whether your fathers or male figures in your life tell you or not, you ultimately do figure that out.
Mhm.
You know, and now the problem is that we're now in a time where men are literally being shit on,
Yeah.
for the purpose of equalizing, and to the point where it's a little more than equalizing, and in some cases I feel like it's more of a revenge, you know,
Yeah. And it's like
and it's destroying our society,
it is. And
you
to
know.
and the notion that women are happiest fulfilling their career goals is a fallacy. It's a conceit. I mean, women are miserable in careers. I mean, would you
Yeah.
rather have children or would you rather um, put
Well, I mean, it's
numbers in a
not everybody,
spreadsheet?
not everybody, but there, even as a man, as a male, that's really not much to be, um I don't know, herald, I guess. You
No.
know, being like some master accountant or boss or something like that, or in some place managing people. You know, not there's very few times where anybody ever looks at you in some, you know, appreciated position,
Yeah. Do you know
being
what
up
my
there.
goal
You
in
know,
life is? Do you know what my goal in life is? It's to claw my way up to middle management.
no, I know, and that's the funny part. The people I find in my experience who fall into management are just people who either get to the point where they just get tired of pursuing, going up, learning more and stuff,
Yeah.
or people who are just lucky enough to be the last one standing.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
you've sucked on a lot of toilets this long. Here's your consolation prize. You know,
Here's your $5
I don't know.
gift card.
It's very rare I find anybody in a leadership position
Oh my god.
to
That made me
be
laugh.
one who's like basically spearheading everything. You know, it's
Mhm.
sort of like he's just basically trying to keep the group together and trying to keep his job most of the time. You know, and looking important. You know, and that's basically, you know, where my dissatisfaction comes of people who basically manage me and stuff, is sort of like how important is looking good in front of the bosses than actually is doing your job of managing me,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I've met all kinds and people, like, even in places where you expect some kind of morality to be somewhat, you know, some kind of guideline and stuff. I've met people who, you know, literally would make you really work hard, you know, literally saying, you know, I have your back. And then the minute the whole group gets recognized, he pulls in on, like, I'm the manager here. You know, I'm the one who did this. He gets a promotion. He leaves the company
Yeah.
and leaves the group kind of like, well, we did work really hard, but we're fucked. I mean, the guy who
Who-
was going to recognize us is no longer working in our company.
Who made
Oh.
this? Who made this? This guy. Right here. This guy. See ya. Yeah, basically. I
Yep,
feel
I
like,
know.
and you mentioned morality there, and I think it's true. Like, so many people who get to these, like, in the hierarchy, when they get up way in, like, in the dominance hierarchy, they're often like, you know, they have those psychopathic tendencies, right?
Yeah, no, I
It's
know.
almost like a given. Oh, so funny.
So, we've been running for, what's our count? I didn't
Oh.
even check how long we've been running for. We've been running for a while.
Oh, 50 minutes.
I know. We're
Holy
almost a show
crap.
now.
Oh my
See
goodness.
how easy that was?
That was awesome. It was
Imagine if we were more organized.
Imagine
know?
if we were prepared. It would have been
Imagine if we prepared for this and actually had clips and memes running on, you know,
That'd
here
be
and there.
amazing.
We'd have. It's not hard. We can definitely do this.
Definitely.
and
Definitely.
So
Yeah, like that's perfect. I was thinking, Mike, I'm gonna get off my lazy bum and I'm going to prepare, like, what do you think I could prepare, like, a Word document, just with some, like, our 5 topics that we talked about, and
Yeah.
I could slot in maybe some text, some video links, and some news story links, send it to you, see what
I've
you
been thinking
think.
about that.
See what you
I
think about it,
think.
or
Well, here's what I think. One, my assignment this afternoon is to set up our Discord,
okay, cool,
Common Nonsense Discord.
awesome.
Right? We'll keep our notes on one of the managerial note channels and stuff, and then that's how we'll
Okay.
coordinate the show and stuff. And then we'll once we get to the point where we're going to want to get, you know, like, audience interaction, we'll use our Discord to do that.
Perfect. So anything I produce, I can just, like,
Yeah, our show notes will go up there.
chuck it on there. Awesome.
We can share it. If we wanted to make it public, we can. But whatever, you know, we'll figure stuff out. But I
Yeah.
think Discord would be a good platform for us. I mean, I'd suggest the only other one I'd suggest is Slack, but we're gonna need the audio part, so we might as well go on Discord to do.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
and Discord is better than Slack, eh? Like, it's
Yeah, well, I mean, it's got
Or-
the voice, and we can do the video on it. We
Yeah.
can get more audience interaction going, audio and stuff.
sweet.
People like talking to people and hearing people's voices and stuff. So,
Yeah.
so
No,
I'm gonna actually look up also how do we integrate that into, like, our show and stuff, and because I know looking like Jeremy of the Courting does the Discord call-ins and stuff, and I know Tim Pool does it too, but it's weird because it's sort of like I think he's the only one who could respond to them, and then for some odd reason the other hosts don't seem to be able to respond directly into the channel. I don't know why.
Okay.
So
Is it
So we'll all
people?
figure stuff out.
Is it people
Hmm?
calling in on voice, like "Hello, caller, you're on the air" kind of thing?
Yeah, that
Yeah, yeah,
thing. But they basically would come into a Discord audio channel,
right.
and then
Gotcha.
that somehow, I guess he would patch that into his local audio, and that would go into the stream, so people would hear the question, and I think maybe the guests would hear the question because this would be all done through StreamYard on top of that, right? Somehow.
Okay.
So somehow you maybe might be able to, but then you wouldn't be able to directly talk to the person. So you'd have the guest would have to basically respond on the show, hearing what the question is, but there wouldn't be a back and forth. And the only
Right.
one who could do the back and forth would be the person connected to Discord
Okay.
or something. So I believe that's the way they would do it. But yeah, I mean, we'll organize on Discord and keep notes on
Awesome.
Discord and everything.
That's
I think
perfect.
that's our best thing. So I'll that's my assignment today. I'll get our branded Discord up, and
Sweet.
we'll
Sweet,
start
sweet.
using it, and I'll start patching in on that.
Okay. And I s-
StreamYard seemed to be actually really good. I think I like the way we got stuff set up.
it looks
Well,
good. I've got everything full screen right now, and it looks super.
Yeah, so I'll check out the videos on the 3 channels we punched in on.
Okay.
This is our episode 0 because we did our
Woo.
episode -1, our initial trial. But all we need to do now is just get organized with the real show, with some
Awesome.
topics, and we'll just go off there. I mean, we did an hour.
That was hilarious. Oh my god, it was
Yeah.
fun too. It was super fun.
Yeah. So
Um,
we'll be back on
yeah,
eventually in full preparation.
awesome. No, that was super fun.
Yeah.
It was like fun banter with my bud.
Well, it's
It's
just
awesome.
we have good rapport talking. It's just if we had more of a with the outline, we'll be more on cue and
Yeah.
more cohesive and stuff instead of wandering all over the place because people. It depends. Like it depends on what kind of audience we eventually generate. I mean, if it's one that just wants to hear us like banter and talk, cool. It'd be
Yeah.
a lot easier for us. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people want people to basically talk about start conversations on like the current, like
Yeah.
Canadian politics, American politics, of course,
Stuff.
and also we're going to be doing the upcoming inauguration
Yes. And we have
and
yeah.
the hopefully upcoming election in Canada.
Yeah. And I was just gonna ask you,
Hmm?
do you want to cover things like the Cybertruck blowing up and terrorist attacks and stuff like that? Because they are so current, but the thing is, we get to the
Maybe we
point
can
where
have maybe we can have them as like possible. Like if we manage to
yeah,
go through the 5, then we can have like alternate ones to pad it out.
because it's
But
like
we'll want to do like a priority because I'm sure there'll be some that we'll want to talk about, or we just end up doing a longer show.
right, yeah,
So, which is what's really cool about the long format is that it doesn't really matter how long it is in the end. I mean, we'd
yeah,
want to be at least an hour per show, but if it goes more than an hour, it goes more than an hour.
yeah.
Stuff, you know.
Good thinking, good thinking. We can have that sort of open ended if we want.
Yeah, and then eventually, if we know people who'd want to get on, want to get into the conversation, who would actually have a good perspective, that'd be a good thing to shoot for too.
Cool.
And
Because like,
I'm liking this. I'm really liking the setup we have.
oh, it's
and all that.
awesome. It's amazing what you've done. Like, it looks great. It looks pro, and the intro is pro. It's amazing.
In the end, it's really not that hard. Like a lot of the software is pretty much the same. It's
Well,
just
maybe
figuring
not
out
for.
how it all fits.
It's not hard for like genius level people like you.
No, come on. I've only been working this stuff for 20 years. You'd think I'd know something by now. I should really have my own show at this point and be like one of the top producers on YouTube.
And now it's
but-
happening. Yes.
Well, I'm a
yes.
little late to the game, but we're gonna get out there and we're
Yeah.
gonna get
Oh.
at least this title up and running and stuff.
Before I forget, Mike, there's this one podcast I listen to, and Dude Man, he uses something called Entropy, and he's
Entropy?
got Entropy and DLive, and
D-Live.
it's
I've heard of D-Live. Yeah. I don't
yeah,
know what it does, but I've heard the name D-Live. Yeah, let me see.
and it's like during the show he's like, oh, and because people can like give you like they
Oh
can give
yeah.
you tips and stuff where it's like, oh, thank you for sending me some, and it's like like bits on Twitch, for instance.
Here it is. D-Live.
Yeah,
What
and
is this?
I'm not sure if
Oh, it's like an aggregator? It's a podcast aggregator? Oh,
I'm not sure if it's a video sharing site or what it is, but and there's another DLive and Entropy, but there's one of them, I can't remember which one it is, where you can like the viewers can send you like different things like like on Twitch it's bits where you can send the broadcaster
oh
bits
okay.
and
It
it's like
sounds like an
yeah.
aggregator,
Okay.
more or less. That's what D-Live looked like. But I was gonna go through it, but then it started doing the blaring music, and
Yeah, that's okay.
So, anyways, but yeah, I'll take a look at it today and see what that's about. But it looks like it's an aggregator.
Yeah.
So I guess the idea would be we would have to, I guess, register, and
Oh, I
then
see. Okay.
they would basically eventually somehow put us in a category, and then depending on like traffic to either promote us or if we pay in to promote us more, kind of deal. I'm sure
Okay,
it's something
yeah.
along those lines.
I have no idea.
There's something similar like when I used to run gaming servers. Like I
Mhm.
used to run Arc, an Arc server.
Okay.
There used to be a site that did this so that people would register and start playing on your server. So I'm sure it's something similar to that.
Cool.
All
Because
that.
yeah, like viewers, because you could tune in live. It's either Entropy or D Live, and people were like sending donations, like boo boo doo boo, and he was like, "Oh, thank you for the donation," or sending a donation,
Oh, okay.
linked with the question. So and
Right.
so sends in $5 and asks the question.
Oh, for like super chats and stuff.
Yeah, super chat stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to
And
see how that works
I have
actually.
no idea how that stuff works.
Well, basically what happens is like during the live chat, like you'll see a live chat going, and then they'll start sending super chats, and then in exchange for the super chats, you basically read what their chat is,
Yeah.
kind of deal.
So
So
and
yeah,
so.
it's a direct line if you pay for the direct line. But the thing is, it's for tips essentially,
Right.
right? All that money or a good percentage of that tip goes to you, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
So and so sends
it's
in
nice to have money.
$5. Yay!
you know.
So and so
Yeah.
sends in $5 with the question, "What is your favorite sandwich?" or whatever.
Yeah,
Or
something
what is
along
your
those
favorite
lines.
color? Well, my favorite color sandwich is peanut butter. And thank you
Well,
for
all
the
kind,
$5.
well, all kinds of people have started like these, like basically what it seems like is that they do some content, and then a lot of like the live cast is essentially reading out super chats
Mhm.
and all that. But
Yeah,
I
like
mean, like, not that I'd want to go in that direction totally, because like
Yeah.
it's like otherwise you end up like people who are like, you know what, I'm not meeting my rent this week, and I was wondering if we can up the super chat so I don't go.
yeah.
You know,
I have this
we-
I have this cosplay I'm preparing, but I'm just fucking broke. I can't make my costume.
who's that guy? Dark Side Phil. Do you know that guy?
No.
You know him?
No.
Oh god. Okay, we're gonna have to talk.
Okay.
I'm not a. Anyways, I know a lot of people who basically make their living like reporting on this guy. I guess that's one way to put it. Dark Side Phil. He's interesting. This dude.
Oh, okay.
He has basically. He's a YouTuber, and he's been around for a very long time. He famously got caught once masturbating in front of the camera.
Oh, bloody hell. Oh my god.
Is that camera on all this time?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Whoops.
Yeah,
Oh.
and he is known for basically being like an internet beggar kind of
Right.
deal. But the thing is, people give him money.
Yeah.
You know, he's probably made millions, and
Oh my
like,
god,
and he spent it all. He's like, he's not like secure rich, but he's made million. He's pulled in millions, but he
really?
hasn't secured a future. Even though pulling in, he's made millions off his YouTube.
I wonder where it's gone.
He's
Wasted,
probably spent it
probably.
all, splurged it all, whatever. He's not a smart man from what I've seen.
Whoa, 7 million views.
Yeah, he has a lot of
Holy.
people who watch him. But the thing is, I don't know whether they're watching him for. Here, let me see. I don't know whether they're watching him for like the.
Darkside Phil is a game creator and former fighting game aficionado that has existed in the online realm for over 2 decades. He has participated in the inception of Let's Plays, but has hardly evolved alongside them. Where most creators benefit from their window of fame, Phil, through insane spending habits, has almost nothing to show for it. It was
Yeah,
only in
man.
2020 that he filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, where the documents revealed his situation being even more insane than previously thought,
Oh my
due
god.
to his off-putting nature and that he will belittle his audience members
Yeah,
while simultaneously
been
petitioning
bankrupt.
them for donations.
I
I
think
need the
more than
money. I pay
once.
bills, and I need the money to do regular day-to-day shit.
Lie about his finances and inaccurately portray
I know,
criticisms of
right? And so this
Oh my
guy
god.
literally would beg on the internet, like he would be having a bad day, he wouldn't be able to make his bills, and he'd literally get on there and he says, "Okay, guys, you guys told me that you would watch more if I played this video game, but you guys aren't watching, so I guess I won't be playing this video game unless you pay, you give in like the super chats and stuff." And then at the end of the day, he'd have enough money to pay his bills.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah, crazy, eh?
That's amazing. I remember a few
Yeah.
years ago there was this like this Twitch girl and this girl. She was like getting all irate. She was wearing like a skimpy outfit. She was like, why isn't anybody subscribing? What the hell? You guys better subscribe."
Well,
Like this
you
sense
ever
of
heard of
entitlement.
well, I mean, there's some out there who know how to run it as a business. Like the popular one would be, do you know Amaranth? She's
Yes.
Canadian, actually.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't know she was Canadian,
I believe she's Canadian,
but
and
she's very attractive.
she's attractive, and she knows how to sell bathwater.
Yeah. My God. Oh man, that gets into the realm of what? Yeah.
Yeah, she
Bathwater?
has sold bathwater and has made lots of money selling bathwater. Her own bathwater, apparently.
Yeah.
You know.
That's hilarious and gross all at once. But yeah, I've seen her on Twitch all the time.
Yeah, and she's been through her ups and downs, and I believe she actually got interviewed once by the Quartering, not
Okay.
too long ago. If you want to dig that up, it's actually interesting because she comes across as a very smart woman.
Yeah, I'm sure she is.
You know, she knows what she's doing, or she looks like she knows what she's running it like a business.
Yeah.
You know,
And she's always on. Like
Yeah.
she's always on Twitch, like these hour-long streams, right?
it's crazy. And
Yeah.
what's another one?
Ninja,
You know, Asmongold?
I guess.
No, Asmongold. He's
Okay.
actually I watch him a lot. Yeah, it used to be just by consequence, just because I'm into gaming streams and stuff. And
Mhm.
he does a stream a day. That dude works really hard.
Wow, yeah, like
You
grinding
know?
it out, eh? I don't
You
know
know?
him, but I know that guy, that Kai Cenat guy,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and who caused a riot in New York City. What in
Oh
2022?
yeah. I remember that. Well, Asmongold. Here, I'll bring him up. He's interesting because
Oh, okay, okay.
no, that's not him. That's not him. He's Asmon. So I
Yeah.
believe he lives in Texas, and he does. He started with World of Warcraft gaming. Like he basically had a following, and he did streams of World of Warcraft. But the thing is, this guy lives almost like a hoarder,
Okay.
and there's been lots of videos about the state of his home, which used to
Right.
be his mom's home. There's even a quote of him. Hang on. Here. Here. This one.
Get the dead rat out. I don't need to anymore. It doesn't smell bad.
That's Asmongold.
It would. The
Oh
thing
my
is, I
God.
used to use a dead rat as an alarm clock, actually, for my stream, because basically what happened was, whenever the sun would come up, it would start cooking the corpse of the rat, and then it would start smelling again, and then the smell would wake me up. So I would use the rat effectively as an alarm clock. And
He's for real.
As soon as it,
He's
it
for
got
real,
hot
man.
enough,
But
it
the
would
thing
wake me
is,
up,
like,
and then
once in
I
a
was
while,
like, oh shit, it's
I know,
time to
right?
stream.
But once in a while,
That
Like,
is
he
so funny.
I don't know if like I've seen pictures of his house, and his house does look exactly the way he describes it. This guy lives in a pigsty. Like, he lives like a hoarder, you know, and yeah. But the thing is, then once in a while, Zach, he goes by another name. I think this is his real name, Zach. Not Rar, but that's what he goes by.
That's so funny. Oh my God.
He'll do these once, and this is him, where he's just a normal
What's
guy.
up, boys? So today I wanted to talk to you all about a question that I've gotten a lot recently in the past, I don't know, 3 to 4 years. And that is, why do I live a simple, or why do I live a humble life? This is a question that people in my real life have asked me, friends in game have asked me, people I've known online for years have asked me, people in my stream have asked me, other streamers have asked me. Everyone has asked me this question. And I thought I should make a video and kind of explain where I'm coming from and what I think. So I think that the best way for me to make this video and actually do it is to start from the very beginning, whenever I was younger, and show you kind of what's happened in my life to make me arrive at the position that I'm at now. So whenever I was a lot younger, and I'm talking about ages, I'd say like 6 or 7 to 13 or so. So all of elementary school, and I do apologize, there are a lot of fucking mosquitoes here, so I might be flailing around for a little bit of time in this video, but I did want to record this outside. So anyway, this is whenever I was a lot younger, and I went out and I cared a lot about wearing Nike. I cared a lot about wearing nice shoes. And I remember my mom bought me a really expensive pair of shoes at Academy, and it was awesome. And I'd go and show them off, and people would think I was cool, etc. And these types of things and the materialism of it was very appealing to me. It was very important to me. It was part of who I was as a person. And I basically allowed that to kind of be part of what I identified myself as. And that was the case all through elementary school and also all through middle school. And the real formative moment for me personally was in high school. Now, in high school, I didn't always go to the same one high school. I went to 2 high schools. At the very beginning, I went to a more upscale, a richer high school where, you know, it wasn't like super, super rich or anything like that, but it was definitely more upscale. You had the kids who would drive the Hummers to school, and it was very obvious that these kids did not buy their cars from their McDonald's part-time job, okay? Their parents bought them very expensive cars, and they were very brand conscious. They were very conscientious about what they would wear, how they would look, how they would appear. And whenever I looked at those people, I thought it was so superficial and so worthless and so meaningless that it was just very off-putting and weird to me. And then I realized that I was also looking in a mirror. And I realized that while those people were doing this same thing, I was just doing it to a lesser extent. And if I had as much money as they did, I'd be just like them. And I think that realizing that I didn't fit in with those people at all and seeing the conclusion that that type of mindset led to kind of allowed me to diverge from that type of mentality. And whenever I went to another high school, this was much more poor high
Anyways,
school, I fit in.
you get the idea. So he's like a normal guy, right? And he does, I think he does one of these every month where he just reflects on his life and stuff. And he's cool, you know? But at the same time, the other character that he plays is like the same thing, except he's like a World of Warcraft player who's pretty high on himself and stuff and lives like a hoarder and is just basically a troll / dick to anybody he plays with. Kind
Yeah.
of deal. So, you know.
He's so weird.
Yeah, I know. It's just, that's normal. You know, that's
Oh my
Asmongold.
God.
You know. Anyways, but you know, the culture, I guess, would be one of the things we're definitely going to talk about.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How many people don't know? I mean, you didn't even know about him. And
No,
it's weird for me to know somebody who doesn't know but it's fine because it's like I live my life on the internet, so it's weird. to me,
Oh
but
no,
it's not. It's I'm actually the weird person here who actually knows this dude.
no, it's cool. It's cool. Like it's hilarious. That rat thing is so gross and funny. Oh my god, that is so funny. And you
Yeah,
don't, and it's hard to tell if he's playing a character or if he made it up or if it's true. It just
yeah.
sounded like it was true. Oh my gosh.
I think there was some truth in it, and he's just being real, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah.
Oh,
So
that is so funny. No, that would be
we definitely
perfect.
have, yeah, we definitely have a lot to go through.
Yeah,
And
like
I'm sure things will come up as the weeks go by, and all that.
yeah, because like if you ever want to do a segment on somebody like these different um figures or broadcasting figures, that would be so fun to do.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, there's a lot out there. I mean, well, this is the weird part. I there's everyone has access to YouTube.
yeah.
Everyone has access to see how other people live in this world, and and I find people just still don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's fascinating, like these people who are successful and yet eccentric, and
Yeah,
yeah, that's
and I
cool.
only know him because I played World of Warcraft,
Yeah,
right? So I've always heard about Asmongold, and he's like this like pompous dick dude celebrity, and all that, and he's constantly like getting a bunch of people to always carry him through like all kinds of dungeons and raids and stuff. But in behind the scenes, he's just a normal dude, you
yeah.
know.
I
So,
I don't really know him too well, but the guy, the Doctor Disrespect or whatever his name
oh
is,
yeah, yeah.
and
Kind of the same deal.
I watched the video where he was streaming live while someone drove by and shot at his house. He was like, "Someone just shot at my house!" Ah!
Well, he's been through some controversy recently. I think he was there was a thing where he was being accused of having inappropriate conversations with a minor
Okay.
and all that. But I don't. And on top of that, he I guess it was known that he cheated on his wife,
Okay.
kind of thing.
Jesus.
But on the same token, he's just a guy being honest about who he is and
Yeah.
stuff. I know he plays this asshole character just like Asmund and all that, and there's probably some bits of him who really is Dr. Disrespect, but
Mhm.
I don't know. Well, I mean, the last controversy, it was kind of fucked up and weird, and apparently he said something which didn't really happen, but it did happen, and it's just all fucked up. So, I mean, at this point, it's sort of like I was never into Doctor Disrespect. I mean,
No.
he
Yeah.
plays a certain character, and I'm kind of like it's funny, but only for so long, kind of
Yeah.
deal. It's like watching Home Alone. I mean, why watch the second and third one? I mean, the first one's good enough,
Yeah.
kind of deal. Because the second and third are pretty much the same thing over and over again. Kind of thing. So,
No, it's true. Oh man.
anyhow, so what do you think? Any comments? Any
Oh, it looks. I think it
anything
just
you want to add, or anything you think we should look into?
just from a culture standpoint. I mean, yeah, like Twitch streamers or would be
Yeah, I'm sure
great.
there's
Like to do it like
yeah,
a segment. Yeah, current events, mega stuff, inauguration.
I'm sure we'll come across stuff, and then how about like I'm thinking we were saying we were going to try to do this on when
Saturday, but
Well, that's tomorrow. You really? Oh no, it's 2 days.
2 days. That might be a little too ambitious.
Okay. What do you need?
Do you think we can prepare for Saturday?
If you want to do Sunday, we can do that as well.
Okay, let's try. Do you want to aim for Sunday?
Yeah. And here's the other thing. Becca's going to be away to visit Chris and Peter in Toronto. I think she's leaving Wednesday and coming back Sunday, so I'll definitely just be around the house
Okay.
focusing on something. If there are no interviews, from what I think, from the feeling I've been getting like especially looking at LinkedIn and what's been coming at LinkedIn, I'm not going to get an interview till 2 weeks from now. So
Okay.
next week's going to be pretty much a write-off in terms of finding work. So I'm going to be doing
Okay.
this.
Okay, cool.
do-
We can
So if we wanted to even do like a episode 1, try to do it, have a bunch of stuff packed in, or we could do another thing. We could actually do. No, it's a live show, so we're gonna have to do it on the exact day or set a couple of days to do a show. But initially, I think we should just stick to one, just prepare for the one. See how fast we can get it up to
Sure.
in,
Oh,
in preparation for.
the
all
other
that.
thing I wanted to ask you just about is there
Mhm.
anything that you want to avoid doing? Like
Hmm.
I know every once in a while I swear, but I like to keep it to a minimum. I'm gonna try
Oh,
to.
well, there's that, but from what I've seen, I think for a live stream, I saw somewhere the first 15 minutes, if you can avoid swearing for the first 15 minutes, I think something that the algorithm checker gives up and
Oh, sweet. Okay.
validates. I think it's 15 minutes, 15 or 30 minutes. I'll have to check.
Okay, I'll do my
Well,
best to use proper adjectives.
we can actually check. I know a streamer who actually does constantly ask about that. It's he's part of the Geeks and Gamers crowd too, but he's his own thing. I know he does a live show, or he did some live shows. He's a musician too. On top of that, I have one or two of his shirts.
Oh, cool.
Live. He talks about. I know he talks about something about the first something minutes where you're not supposed to swear. Trying to remember which episode though. I think it's this one.
Clap those cheeks all night. I would change your life. No more OnlyFans. I will be your
Yeah, let's do that.
DSP doing just about anything. I know. That's
But-
what you people are here for. You're like, Gundam, I need to know what.
Oh yeah,
goes on."
that's the other thing about this dude. He's actually a VTuber,
Okay.
and this is the character he uses for his
Right.
VTubing. But he's a black dude, or no, he's not a black dude. He's an Indian
Okay.
/ black dude, kind of thing. Anyways, yeah, he's a person of color. that I mean, not that he takes advantage of it. He's cool. He's a really cool guy. and all that. But I know he constantly talks about.
Austin in space, essentially.
Wait, there's an episode here where he says he has a timer on himself.
dripping on your hips.
But then I'm going to capture from that PC onto my
No,
current
that's not
capturing
it.
gaming
Hang on.
PC, which is going to broadcast
Oh,
in 1080p.
This
It's going to be 3 fucking PCs daisy chained together. In
this
a
is
set-
Darkside Phil talking about his latest PC setup.
So basically,
So remember that thing I
PSP
talked
is
about
going to have-
like setting it up and buying 2 gaming computers?
Yeah.
Well, this guy did it. He spent the $6,000, bought 2 big honking server type computers, and has one dedicated, like a gaming computer dedicated to recording the stream, and then the actual gaming computer playing, and they're the exact same computer kind of deal.
So it was like
Like, he's-
overkill.
Overkill, and that meant that he had to beg all that money to buy those servers.
Oh my gosh.
So think about that. I guess it's not here. I know there's like a bunch of episodes where he actually says 15 minutes or something like that. I can't remember. I'll look back and all that. Because unless it was a show,
Like I
he
just
did a
have to.
show. Anyways,
I have to go to
Never
the
mind.
bath. I have to go to the washroom. Just
all right. Let me. Yeah, go.
okay.
me
I'll
know.
be right back.
Go. Where is that? TDS. No. I know it's a live thing. Oh, must be in this live feed. On the friends. Maybe he did it with Kersh.
No, it shows everybody. Fire.
Oh, we just talked about it.
There we go. Finally, she's gonna save us.
What?
This
There's
one-
another.
This is the last one. It's involving me.
I lost track of her at 3 in the morning. That kid who sold me this stuff, he's a shyster.
That's a song.
She is animal abuse.
Well, that's where it started. Yeah. Come on. It's 22 seconds. I just got it. I hate these sometimes. 22 I know it's where it splits. There. Bingo.
No, Fluffy. Don't do that, Fluffy. No, Fluffy. Bad dog.
Who does Gundam actually
Zoom
talk
in.
about what the
Zoom
time
in.
limit is?
Oh, yeah. No! No! Very sorry, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to...
I wonder if I can use my
In honor
order.
of Nick Ricada.
That
Oh,
one?
my God.
Not that
God,
one.
how did he do it? The man is an absolute animal.
The hell?
Hey, drink what we eat.
What it-
Fluffy, no.
Yeah,
That's
hang on.
today's morning mortal lot, kids. How's everybody doing?
Hey,
Hello.
I'm getting high as a kite. I'm on.
he's
board
talking about
now.
getting high.
Train, baby. Woo! Welcome to the show. I don't know what the hell it's about, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie to you. Kirsha is animal abuse. Who said that? You're banned. Gone forever.
Yeah, he's talking about Kirsha. She's actually pretty cool. She does stuff on DEI sometimes,
Oh,
I lost
neat.
track of her at 3
reporting on it and all that. And then
That kid
most of the time
who
she's
stole
talking
this
to her
stuff,
fans,
he's a shyster.
and she's like a virtual
What's the
Fox
business of the
character
day? I don't have a monologue. I'm like
kind of thing. So a lot of the fans are all
Interesting.
about
We've got
her
couple
being
of-
a virtual
couple of
character.
announcements, actually. So we're a professional podcast here.
Anyways, I
That's
don't
very
think it's
interesting, like the overlap
The full classic
between like
collection.
people who are doing this sort of content, but with like criticizing DEI and stuff, just like you mentioned the other day, like
Yeah.
the overlap between the gaming world and then these other issues that are creeping up everywhere, creeping into
Well,
every
it-
industry.
Well, it directly affects. I mean, it's been in the gaming world for a long time now. I
Yeah.
mean, to the point where there isn't a AAA gaming company that isn't literally infected with this DEI shit.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I
and
remember-
it affects the content of the game.
Yeah.
You know, you've got basically like games that are not fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Or you have a Tomb Raider that doesn't raid tombs.
Yeah.
You know, she wants to go. I believe in the new version, she wants to go and restore stuff instead of raiding tombs. What's the fun in that? You know?
Oh, that's so stupid.
Yeah. What were you saying? Sorry, you were saying?
Oh no, the other thing I was going to ask you is like, is there anything you want to avoid in terms of subjects? Like, because we have to be careful, right? Because our faces are here.
On
and
this.
like,
right.
I'm not going to come on here and just with gravitas and seriousness say, you know what, Mike, the Freemasons are running the country, and here's why. You know, stuff like that.
I think we should avoid like inciting violence,
Yeah.
raising revolutions,
Agreed.
killing people.
Killing
Definitely a no. Yeah.
Common
like,
sense.
basically violence, anything
Yeah.
with violence. I don't, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the conflict is. I mean, violence is just the easy way out.
Yeah.
You know,
Agreed.
and
So
there are more worthier ways to resolve stuff than punching somebody in the face or shooting them.
Yeah.
You know.
Agreed. I think common sense will be our guide.
Yeah.
For things to avoid.
Yeah. Now we're also gonna have to work on our outro, so I'm gonna have to do some research on that this afternoon.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and just the music. Like I said this morning, the theme song for our intro, I have the rights for, so we'll be using that.
Sweet.
The music we're currently using for the waiting sequence, that's actually AI generated.
Nice.
So
It has like a
So yeah,
synthwavy vibe to it. It's really good.
yeah, and actually the services I've been using to the intros, they're also AI tools. Like this one over here, the blue one.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, the blue one that comes in. That I forgot what I think it's called Video Bolt. It gives you a bunch of templates, and then you can like swap in like certain resources, like the music you're going to use, and then the background video or the logos or the text and all that stuff, and then it just renders it in like minutes and stuff.
Cool.
So yeah, if there's any other music you would need, let me know. We'll pull those up. We'll try to use AI stuff so we don't have to deal with buying the rights of. It's
Yeah,
just that I really like the song for that intro
Yeah.
so much that I mean I'll just use the whatever rights I have on it to basically be our theme. Yeah, I mean I've never seen a video for the song, and I think it's a pretty cool video made for them. So
Yeah, it is.
you
Oh,
know,
man. It looks like
Yeah.
pro.
yeah. But I'll definitely get an outro going, and also I might vamp up the some of the imagery we use for the opening, because I think that's circa 2018 pre-Biden election footage and stuff. So
Nice.
there's much more we can be pulling in, and we could also be a lot more Canadian centric. I saw that there's not a lot of Canadian type stuff, and I think that should come through.
Yeah.
In this podcast, so I definitely think we should be a Canadian podcast.
A little niche, our niche,
Yeah.
our Canadian niche. Yeah, because a lot of people I find that they're even if they're Americans, they're like interested. But they just don't know where to go, and they don't know what's happening a lot of the time in our crazy country. So
Well, the only place they go to these days is Viva Frey, but I mean, he's no
Okay.
longer really Canadian. He's living in Florida right now.
yeah,
So-
yeah. And like
yeah,
Scott Adams was talking about Jordan Peterson moving to the States, and he was like,
he's in
Canada-
Nashville, I believe.
Canada has just lost their best Canadian.
Yeah, he ain't joking. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, he used to actually teach in McGill.
Oh, okay.
I believe he taught at McGill for a bit,
Yeah, because
psychology department.
then he was at Toronto, right? U of T for
Yeah.
quite a few years.
But he did live in Montreal for a bit.
Interesting. He's so smart. Oh my god.
Yeah, but he's very misunderstood, and a lot of the times whenever I talk about him, all I get back are like the crying memes that he's done, that they've made.
Oh, yeah, where he gets emotional.
Yeah, you know.
Even though
No, I get him.
Me too.
He's gone through enough personal shit. He's actually lucky he hasn't lost any, like his life, his wife's life, and his daughter's life.
Yeah.
They're all sick people, you know.
Yeah.
I
Oh
think
my
he had a bad trip with diazepam.
Yeah. Those
And-
benzos.
Yeah, whatever. He got addicted to them, and
Yeah.
it screwed up his sleep schedule or something like
Ouch.
that. His daughter, I believe, has some kind of chronic disease. That's Michaela.
Yeah. I don't know
his
what.
wife, I believe, almost died of something,
Oh shit.
but it might have been cancer. I'm not sure, but she's recovered, or it's in remission or something.
I'd like to look into his collective. He's sort of gathered that educational / expert collective, the Peterson Academy or whatever.
Yeah, we can do a bit on him. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm quite interested in the stuff he does. I mean, I read his 12 rules, and I have his 12 rules up on my wall right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause-
they're good rules to live by.
And it's interesting how we sort of began the show talking about energy and Canadian industry and stuff. And one of the people that Peterson often invokes is that Bjorn Lomborg guy, who's really a cool environmentalist who is more human centric, who advocates for cheap energy and affordable energy to raise human quality of life, which is
That'd be
complete-
nice to actually have an environmentalist who considers, like, you know, the humanity's presence in the environment instead
Yeah.
of wanting us to be like eliminated.
Yeah.
You know, thinking we're
Exactly.
the plague. kind of
Isn't that
thing.
nice
It's
for a
like,
change that people don't
yeah,
want
it'd
to
be
kill
nice.
us?
Well, let's make the planet so that we can actually live on it, instead of eliminating ourselves and letting the environment just go wild again and find another ruler. I mean, imagine had it been the dinosaurs, anyways. You know, it could have been a totally different race. You know,
Yeah.
race of reptiles. Imagine that. You know?
Exactly. With
You
our
think that would be better? You think
with
that-
our
you
with
know?
our wings and our pseudo feet and stuff.
Well,
And
apparently, according to a lot of people who are in the know of like the UFOs and the actual races who live in this universe and in this planet, you know,
Mhm.
apparently the reptilians are the meanest and in charge. Apparently,
Yep.
you know,
And they're
above the Greys and all them. That's
and
what I
they're
heard.
they're walking amongst us and we don't know it.
Yeah,
As per what's his name? David
they
Icke.
control everything.
David
Yeah,
Icke,
I
yes.
forgot it. I forgot who's. I know I saw it on Joe Rogan or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Or one of those weird alternate channels, Gaia. You ever watch stuff from there?
No, I've never
The
seen
Gaia
him.
channel? That's weird. No,
Oh.
it's a channel.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
channel of just like everything weird. Like uwu. Is that what that means? Uwu? No.
Ooh, yeah.
Uwu is like cutesy thing.
Yeah.
That's anime cutesy. No, just weird. Not uwu,
Interesting.
just weird. Yeah. So yeah, there's this legit channel, and all they do is they do all the crystals, the psychic stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, those kind of podcasts.
So like
and
new
stuff.
age type stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like the spirit of the new age. It's just that they're so unscientific and illogical. I can't
Yeah.
take them seriously, you know.
Yeah, the
kind of thing.
crystals and all that stuff.
I like it when stuff comes in with some kind of rule set, like tarot cards always fascinated me.
Mhm.
And all
And
that. And there is some truth to being born in a certain time and season, which is cyclical, and that having an influence on your personality. I mean, there
Yeah.
might be some truth to that. You know, maybe not the influence of the stars, just the one star, the one that's in front of us. You know.
Mhm. The magic of the runes.
Yeah. Well, the sun, essentially. I mean, everything comes from the sun. In the end.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, so this is episode 0.
0. And we've gone for
And,
an hour and 36 minutes.
Yes, we have. So let's start working on our episode 1.
Okay.
And we'll target. When were we targeting for it? Did you want to actually do the crazy thing, or we could do the Wednesday?
Okay. Let's aim for Wednesday.
I think that will give us a good enough buffer to get everything ready and get our first topics in line. Get us on a momentum.
That sounds good. That sounds good to me.
Yeah. Take some time to review the footage in the end, so you'll see it on Facebook and you will see it on the Common Nonsense channel. Just check it out, and I've also posted it on Twitter, so I'll take a look at that. What it looks like on Twitter. I should give you my Twitter. Actually, I haven't given you my Twitter yet,
please do.
and all that.
And I'll
So
set
I'll
up-
give you that backstage and all that stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll set up my own show Twitter.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. All right.
Awesome.
Well,
Nick.
episode 0 is in the can.
In the can.
Thank you very much, and if you're watching this, thank you for watching us trying to stumble through our first test episode. But I'm going to keep this up here so that people can always go back to it, see how we started once we're
Alright.
famous and stuff. You know,
That'd be
I
great.
think it'd be kind of a cool thing. And anyways,
Yeah.
thank you for joining me. This is going to be good. I have really good feelings about this, and I guess till next time.
Okay.
Let's give it the end.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Mike.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Laters.
Bye.